Shalom Aleichem. Mishnah Yomi continues through Yevamot, chapter 7, Mishnah number 6. We've been on the topic of which kind of marriages and relationships entitle a woman to eating Terumah and which might preclude her from eating Terumah even if the relationship ends and she's returning to her father's house and her father was a Cohen. So Mishnah Vav, Cohen Gadol, a high priest, Pa'amim Shehu Posel, sometimes he precludes, we'll see, his grandmother from partaking in Terumah. Ketzad, how could this be? Bat Cohen liYisrael. The daughter of a Cohen who used to eat Terumah in her father's house now marries a Yisrael, and once they are living together, she can no longer eat Terumah. V'yolda hamenu bat, and Mazel Tov, they have a daughter. Halcha habat, this daughter grows up, v'nisat leCohen, and she marries a Mr. Cohen. V'yolda hamenu ben, and they have a son. So now this daughter, the second generation, she is eating Terumah, the grandmother is not. And the grandson, Hareze Rawi, this grandson is fitting Liot Cohen Gadol. He can be the Cohen Gadol, Omedu Mishamish al Gabei Mizbeach, who stands and serves on the Mizbeach. Really, every Cohen who is qualified can stand and serve on the Mizbeach. The point is, this Cohen, this son, the Cohen, the grandson of the original woman, can even be Cohen Gadol. And therefore, the Mishnah says, Ma'achilet imo, he entitles his mother to eat Terumah, even if the husband, that Mr. Cohen, passes away, of the middle generation. Since the son is alive, he entitles her to eat Terumah. Uposel et em imo, but he disqualifies his grandmother from eating Terumah, even if her marriage to the Yisrael ended, even if she had no existing children from that marriage, since she has a grandchild from her marriage to the Yisrael, she cannot go back to her father's house and eat Terumah again. V'zoto meretz, and the grandmother says, Loi kivni Cohen Gadol, I don't want more situations to be around like my grandson, the Cohen Gadol. So this word b'ni literally is son, but sometimes people call their grandchildren children as well. So the grandmother is complaining about her grandson, the high priest, who posleni min Terumah, because he disqualifies me from eating Terumah since he's the surviving descendant of her husband, the Yisrael. It could be also that the grandmother wanted him to become a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant, and he went into the kahuna instead, but really the Mishnah only mentions the Terumah issue. Mazel Tov, let's go on to chapter 8, Perek Ches, Ha'arel. An Arel is someone who did not get his circumcision. We are talking about Kohanim here and their eligibility to eat Terumah. The Barnura explains that this could be a Cohen Arel. Why was he not circumcised? Shemetu achav machmat mila. God forbid, his brothers, he had two brothers already pass away after bris milah because their blood would not clot. This is called hemophilia. It's a genetic disorder. Our sages were aware that it could run. They had no way to test for it, but they were aware it could run in the family, where if two brothers had already had a problem, a sakana, an injury or death, God forbid, because of hemophilia, they would not perform circumcision on the third brother, lest, God forbid, he die. Now, in Aro, someone who's uncircumcised cannot, for any reason, cannot eat Terumah because we compare Terumah to Pesach, and you need a bris, a circumcision, to partake in the Korban Pesach. So the first disqualified person is a Cohen Arel, the Kol Tmeim, and if he is Tameh, just with a temporary issue where he had contact with a source of ritual impurity, Lo Yochal B'Terumah, they cannot eat Terumah. But in these cases, Nishehem, Ve'avdehem, their wives, their servants, Yochlu B'Terumah. They may eat Terumahs. The other members of their household are not subject to the problem of being uncircumcised. It doesn't apply to women. And they do not have the problem of Tumah, assuming they did not also contact the ritual impurity. So as long as they are pure, they are allowed to eat Terumah, even if the Cohen in question, Mr. Cohen, the head of the household, can't eat the Terumah himself. That's a personal problem. The rest of his household could still eat Terumah. Ptsua doka, this refers to a specific injury that the Mishnah will define tomorrow. Krot shafcha, another type of injury to get the male reproductive system. Hen, men with such a problem, ve'avdehen, and their servants, yochlu, they may eat Terumah, obviously if the man is a Cohen, and a Cohen who's not ritually impure. Neshehem lo yochelu, but their wives in such cases, the wives of men who have this injury to the reproductive system, may not eat Terumah. Ve'im lo yeda'ah, but if the husband with his injury did not know, the biblical meaning of know is marital intimacy. Sometimes, mishenasa b'tzuadaka, after he got his injury, chrot shafcha, or his other injury, hare elu yochelu, then the wives could eat. So what's going on is when they were first married, he was completely normal and intact, and then they were married, mazel tov, she was eating Terumah, and then after the injury, if they continue to live together intimately, this would disqualify her from partaking in Terumah, because such a marriage, to start with, would be illegal. But if they were not intimate after this injury, then she could still eat the Terumah based on the original marriage. The Mishnah tomorrow will define these injuries, and of course, always consult your local Orthodox rabbi and a doctor. Paskin from the Mishnah. Yasher Kochachem and Sei gesund.